you're a very lucky boy.
In today's episode, we kick off the new year by heading to the Jackie Chan Appreciation Group's social media accounts to answer some of the community's questions.
You're going to push me into a corner, fella? Oh. Crikey. He got a bit carried away. He asked me 4 questions.
I've handpicked a bunch of questions from the account's Facebook and Instagram account.
You can't always go around your nans and have the best slice of cake, but it still tastes good. The same with Chan. Beautiful. Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you had a really good Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. I hope 2026 is the start of some good things for everyone. Make it be prosperous, healthy and all that jazz. Wishing you all the best, peeps. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Chan in the Attic. If you joined into the Christmas special with Gareth from the Old Yorkshire Pudding Collects, just want to say a really big thank you. Me and Gareth had an absolute blast of a day filming that. He's mentioned it already, but he got here about 9 in the morning and we didn't stop parroting on about Chan until late evening. And it's one of them days where that's when you know you found a good mate, you know, when you can just chat. And we're just chatting about our hobbies, you know, talking about Jackie Chan, talking about collecting, talking about our YouTube channels, all that good stuff. And we didn't stop nattering from the moment he arrived to the moment I left him at his digs. Which was later in the evening. We had a really good day. It was just, you know, like-minded friendship. And it's you come away from them days, you think, crikey, I hadn't stopped talking, but there's still stuff that we hadn't spoke about. It's like, oh, we didn't chat about that, or we could have spoke about that. But time goes by really quickly, and we could have caught a lot of stuff on camera, but there's always another time. There's always another time. But I hope you enjoyed it. I've got nothing but great stuff to say about Gareth. He's a really good, sincere, genuine, decent guy. You know, he's got a real passion for Jackie Chan and his collecting. And if you're not already subscribed, hook over to his channel, give it a little like, hit the old subscribe button and give him all the support you can. And I know he'd appreciate that. Well, I've got my green tea, so I'm good to roll. Are you lot good to roll? Get yourself a drink, make yourself comfy, and let's have a little Chan chat. So I thought, let's ease ourselves into 2026 with something a bit different for Chan in the Attic. Now, back in August time last year, in the summertime, I put out a post on my socials, and it was just a post out to you members or subscribers, and just saying if any of you out there have got any questions for me at all about my collection, it could be a question about my opinion on a Jackie Chan film, anything you want to ask at all, fire it up in the comments section. And I'll do my best to do a future episode covering them questions. Well, here we are. I thought 2026, let's kick it off light, something a bit different, a little bit of fun. And I've got your questions, and now I'm going to give you my answers. Happy days. Oh, that's good. So the first question I got was from Stephen. How you doing, fella? You all good, mate? And Stephen said this. What original JC prop or vehicle would you like to own? Mine would be the Mitsubishi car from Armour of God. Wicked choice, mate. The Mitsubishi Colt Targa, which was a limited edition one made specifically by Mitsubishi for Armour of God. Classic motor. It's funny because when I was younger, after I saw First Strike and Thunderbolt, I really liked my Mitsubishi FTOs. The FTO is the red sports car that Jackie drives off the pier, off the ramp, into the boat at the end of First Strike. And also it's the silver Mitsubishi motor that he has the street race with in the dark at the beginning of the movie in Thunderbolt. Absolutely love the Mitsubishi FTOs. So when I had the opportunity, I snapped one of them up when I was younger. I had a nice white one. I thought I was Jackie Chan. Absolutely loved it. But to answer your question, mate, what Jackie Chan prop or vehicle would I most like to own? Now, I think you did a good shout with the Armour of God motor. Yeah, that would be cool. If I'm going to be put on the spot, I'm probably going to say the Wheels on Mills van. Yeah, classic. And now, props. There's been so many good props, haven't there, from Jackie's movies, let's face it. Thinking on the spot, probably Drunken Master, the wine barrel like casket, the one that's used in the deleted scene montage, the deleted footage. That would be a cool thing to own. But then again, there's lots of things, isn't there? The Young Master bench, the bench from Drunken Master 2. So many good props. But yeah, that's my answer to that, mate. Thanks for the question. And the next question I've got is from Daniel Laricchio. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, mate. I'm not very good with pronunciations, as you've probably seen by now already. Yeah, Laricchio, maybe like Ralph Macchio, something like that. Anyway, really nice guy, Daniel. I've had a bit of contact with you over the time through Messenger and that, and you've always been really kind, mate. Yeah, much appreciated. Fellow JC fan, collector. Good to know you, mate. And thanks for your question. And Daniel was asked this: if you ever met Jackie Chan and could have, if you ever met Jackie Chan and could have him sign one thing only, what would it be? For me, it would be my original Drunken Master poster, which I managed to get him to sign. You did indeed, mate, and you're a very lucky boy. Yeah, it was last year. Daniel was very fortunate enough to meet Jackie Chan, and he got that original poster signed. So, mate, I'm chuffed for you. That's wicked, and I'm jealous, of course. Lucky boy, mate. But for me, what item would I like to have signed? Only one item if I met Jackie Chan in person. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's funny because when the opportunity I thought was coming for me to meet Jackie Chan last year with the Karate Kid Legends saga, and I got myself down to the BBC One show, waiting in anticipation that I might get to meet Jackie and get him to sign something. I was really busy that day with work, bits and bobs, so it was a very last minute dash out the door in the evening to try and get to the BBC One studio in the hope that I could meet Chan. So I literally had to grab the first thing I could find in my bedroom that I felt was the most appropriate. And at that time, it was just a poster from the original Jackie Chan fan club in 1989. I think it's one of them things, when you've got an opportunity to meet your hero and you get something signed, if you can plan it, I think in an ideal world, you always want to try and get something a little bit unique, something that maybe is personal to yourself in your collection, and something that's just a little bit different, you know, rather than go with a Rush Hour DVD case or something, which, you know, if needs must, needs must. But if time was on my side and I got to take with me one item, what would it be? Now, it's a difficult one because sometimes I think it would have to be the Palace Premiere VHS tape, the UK tape of Police Story. Because for me, that's what kickstarted my Jackie Chan fandom. You know, if it wasn't for that tape, I probably wouldn't be here right now chatting about this man. So part of me feels it should be that. And then sometimes I think, but what about Snake in Eagle Shadow? His big breakthrough hit. Surely it's got to be Snake. What about a Lo Wei one? You know, so it is a tough one, but you're going to push me into a corner, fella. I'm going to say my Cub Tiger from Kwang Tung VHS tape. Why? Because it was his first main feature film, and Jackie may not even like that film. He may think it's a pile of poo-poo, right? I like it, and it was his first big step, and that meant something to him at the time, 100%. When he was making Cub Tiger from Kwang Tung, he wanted that to be something special, and he put a lot of effort into that. You can tell with the fight scenes, and he had a lot of responsibility at a young age on that film. And I think if I had the opportunity, I would be getting him to sign that tape, because I think that's a special one, and it's a starting point of his career. I hope that answers your question, mate. Whoa! See, it'd have to be this. That's the original Jackie Chan. Look, on the front, Jackie Chan's real first movie. Now, the only snag with this cover is that it's the Japanese tape. That's not the snag. The snag is that if I was going to get him to sign it, again, it would depend what sort of pen he was signing it with, because if I just had a black biro to hand, well, it's probably not the best thing to get signed, because there ain't much room. There isn't much sort of area that he could sign that the signature would be visible unless he really small. Unless he signed it very smallly. Is that a word? Is that a word? Smallly. It'd have to do a really small signature on one of the white letters. But if I had a gold pen or like a metallic-y silver pen, then that could be different. I think that'd be really nice on the black. But for me, that's something really special. So yeah, it'd have to be unique. Although it would be nice to have him sign the original Jackie Chan figure I got from 1985 from Toby Russell from his office. That would be great if he signed that. Oh mate, I'm spoilt for choice. Right, the next question we've got was from Sharaz David. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Sharaz, by the time you see this, I'm hoping you've got your Shaolin Wooden Men poster. Sharaz was really lucky in the last episode to be picked to win the Shaolin Wooden Men poster from the competition. Good on you, mate. Hope you like it. Let us know when you get the poster. Send us a little pic or something. I'd love to see it. Cheers, pal. And Sharaz asked me this. Well, actually, he got a bit carried away. He asked me 4 questions. So we've got 4 questions in this one question. Here we go. What is your most expensive item in your collection? Oh, crikey. What is your most expensive item in your Jackie Chan collection? That's a really good question, mate, because I probably can't give you an accurate answer because, as you'll know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So it's really hard to gauge what things are potentially worth, especially on auctions and stuff. But I guess if it's in terms of what's the most expensive thing I've paid for, then probably one of the most expensive purchases flat outright on Jackie Chan would be the Jackie Chan action box set from Japan many years ago. Comes in that nice burgundy chest kind of drawstring around it, really nice, proper slick. It's got all the Japanese film programs inside, mini versions. It's got a nice little interview with Jackie Chan on there. Most of his filmography, or a selective amount, from the 70s all the way up until whenever the last one was in that box set. I think it went up to The Myth, I'm going to say, something like that. Maybe New Police Story. Can't quite remember off the top of my head. But that costs a lot of money back in the day, and still does, I think, to be honest, on auction sites. So that's probably the most expensive I've paid outright. But if you're talking about what's, maybe rarer, who knows, mate? Who knows? I'd like to think my Jackie Chan doll that was owned by Jackie and Willie Chan at the Golden Harvest office, the original doll, I think that'd do quite well. Thanks for that question, mate. Something which cost you a lot but could have been cheap if you bought it when it first came out. Well, yes, mate. Lots of things, to be honest. Yeah, like all things, if you get it at the time, it's a lot more reasonable than trying to play catch up 10, 20 years later. And I think the only thing that's sticking to my head that I can give as an example of that would be the original, so the 1989 Jackie Chan fan club, Tempo House Ricky Baker. Now, anything to do with merchandise like that, I mean, when we consider that fan club stuff was done on like fax machine, colour photocopier, piece of paper, photocopied, there it is, there's your newsletter. If you look how much stuff like that goes for now, I mean, for a set of that 1989 Jackie Chan fan club stuff in its yellow binder, and for the photocopied pieces of paper, hundreds and hundreds of people will pay. And my question is, how do you know that you're buying that original photocopy fax machine? How you don't know that it just not photocopied it and photocopied it and photocopied it. So things like that really, were much cheaper back in the day. And my example would be, going back to them fan club days, was the poster with Jackie Chan on the bike, set of Project A, and it was the 1989 fan club poster. That poster, I think back in the day, if you got that from the fanzine, it was probably a couple of quid, £5 max or something. You can't get that hardly for under 50 quid. And I got that a lot later on. So I'd probably say that's an example of an item. But again, it's like buses, because they don't come up for years sometimes. And that Project A poster was a fine example. It never came up. And then all of a sudden it come up and it's 50 quid, 60 quid, 70 quid for a poster. And then when you get hold of it, get it back in the collection, it's like buses. They all come along, £10, £12, and you're thinking, what's the chances? But yeah, lots of things like that, mate. Thank you. What's the next question? Anything you regret buying? Anything I regret buying? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, because I don't think I regret buying any Jackie Chan merch. I mean, it's all welcome. It's all welcome in a Jackie Chan collection. I think the word I would use probably is disappointed. There's definitely been some disappointed purchases over the years. You know, things that haven't quite lived up to the expectations that I would wanted it to be. It wasn't advertised as such and things like that. They would be disappointing. But again, no regrets, mate. It is what it is. I'm quite pleased with everything that's in the Jackie collection. So yeah, one man's trash, never man's treasure. Cheers, mate. What is one item that you still would like in your collection that you would sell your soul for? Well, there isn't a particular item where I think, I need that and I will give anything for that, because there's lots I still want. You know, lots of stuff slips the net. And going back many years ago, when I was trying to complete all my Universe Laser Jackie Chan DVDs, so in the early parts of 2000, there was a couple of Universe Laser titles that had alternative covers. Most of them were over in America, or Tai Seng label stuck over them. But Young Master, My Lucky Stars, Dragons Forever, and First Mission. Oh yeah, it was First Mission and My Lucky Stars, which were Megastar. They put out two variants. They put out a variant, sorry. And then there was Young Master and Dragons Forever, which was a variant on Universe Laser. Now the Young Master variant had Jackie with the red skirt in the skirt fight scene, that was on the cover. Dragons Forever had the picture of Jackie and then the Statue of Liberty in the background. Now these two covers were really rare to find on DVD. And I'm not lying, it probably took me 15 years to track them down. 15 years. And yeah, and when you want something that badly, then obviously, you know, hey, who knows? But now there's a couple of things that I do still really want in my collection. And I think if I had to quickly just make a decision on the spot, what do I want in my collection now? I've been after it for a while, and that would be the new Police Story figure that came out. It came out after, obviously, we did all the Dragon Lord and My Story figures, very similar to that kind of action figure. It was in a blue box. It was done to kind of, on the back of New Police Story, so it would have been sort of between 2004 and the figure, maybe by 2006 or something. I'm not quite sure when the figure came out, but that one is something I would like in my collection, and I'm still looking really hard. So if anyone out there has it and they want to part with it, please do give us a shout, let me know. Of course, there's loads of things. Export Rumble in the Bronx dub on VHS. I'd love to have that in the collection. Yeah. I think that's it, mate. Just to answer your, go back to that regret question. Is there anything you regret buying? And I just go back to the analogy I use of a homemade cake. All right? It all tastes good. Sometimes you get a little bit of burnt edge. You can't always go around your hands and have the best slice of cake, but it still tastes good. The same with Chan. Once you got it in the collection, anything was good. Still tasted good, even the bits that weren't so good. So yeah, cheers, mate. Right, and the next question is from Carl Playford. How you doing, Carl? Good to hear from you, mate. And Carl asked me this. If you were allowed to write and direct a movie with a prime Jackie Chan, what would it be about? What would his fighting style be? And what stunts would he do? And who would the final boss be? That's a really good question, Carl. Thanks, mate. Look, you know, Jackie's done such a really large inventory of films. I mean, his catalogue is extensive. He's done some straight-laced films now. He's obviously done slapstick. He's done kung fu comedy. He's done moderns. He's crossed over on a lot of genres, to be fair. But if I was allowed to write and direct a movie with a prime Jackie Chan, what would it be about? Well, You know what? I think this a lot about Jackie and his career. And I think the reason we don't have this movie, I'm going to say, in his catalogue is because I think where he came from the shadows of Bruce Lee, and he, you know, his whole style or makeup was that, you know, kung fu comedy, wanted to be different than Bruce Lee. I think because of that path, which was a good path to take, don't get me wrong, we probably wouldn't be here again without taking that path. But because you take that path, there's a certain film I really wished he would have made that he hasn't made. And I do think it's because of the path that was chosen, which to some extent I find a little bit unfortunate. And that is just a solid martial arts tournament movie with Jackie Chan. A martial arts tournament movie with Jackie Chan. Think kickboxer, blood sport, best of the best. You know, we've had Enter the Dragon and Bruce Lee. A martial arts tournament one. Now, I know what you're going to say. Battle Creek Brawl, big brawl. But I would say what I would want to direct and write for a prime Jackie Chan, and when I say prime, I'm saying take Jackie Chan out of Wheels and Mills, that end fight with Benny the Jet in all them black clobber, yeah, that Jackie Chan, put him in a movie, that's his prime for this particular movie, a martial arts tournament, and I want it straight-laced, yeah, I want straight-laced Chan, Dragon Fist, you know, mindset, yeah, you know, let's ditch the comedy for a film and have a martial arts tournament with Chan, the star. Fighting in, and I'm going to say modern, yeah, fighting in modern martial arts, so his hyped up kickboxing style that we see in Wheels and Mills, that kind of film. And sometimes I just think, yeah, that's just something that was just, I don't think Jackie Chan's missed anything in his career, and I don't think nothing would make the world of difference to his success or anything like that now, but just as a fan's mindset, sometimes I just really wish I could put on a Jackie Chan film like Best of the Best, but with Jackie Chan. So that would be something that I would think of. Yeah, fighting in modern martial arts for that. That would make sense to me. Stunt-wise, be quite happy with just the sort of, you know, physical fighting stunts for that. There might be some, you know, down scenes where you could roll over some cars or jump off some buildings. That's all good. We can sling that in. Now, an end boss. An end boss. Now, when you think of a martial arts tournament thing, I'm starting to think, well, I probably should be pitting him against a Westerner, you know, but, you know, he's done some of the best of that, you know, Benny the Jet, Bill Superfoot Wallace. So I've got to mix it up a little bit. And I would have loved to have seen, or if I'm writing and directing Jackie Chan in his prime in a martial arts tournament movie, the final boss I'm going to say is Yun Hua. Because I think, again, that's something else we've just missed a trick on. We lost it in Super Cop, unfortunately, Police Story 3. We didn't get that opportunity of a proper scrap between Jackie and Yun Hua. And I think that could have really been something special. And I do think that was a missed opportunity at the end of Super Cop. I love all of Police Story 3, the Kuala Lumpur scenes. I wouldn't take away any of that at all. But I'm just thinking, actually, I should have made it 5 minutes longer and gave us them duking it out on that top of that roof. Rather than quick kick, roll down, game over. So yeah, martial arts tournament film, Jackie Chan doing his Jean-Claude Van Damme, Philip Reed, Bruce Lee bit, kicking butt, modern, hyped up kickboxing, the best of Jackie, and battling Yun Hua. That's my answer to that one, mate. Thanks, Carl. What about you guys? Let us know what you think. Hit in the comments section. If you were to write and direct a movie with a prime Jackie Chan, what would it look like? What would the film be about? What would the style of fighting be? Would it be traditional kung? Would it be modern? Look, you know, that's just one particular film that I just think, I just wish it had happened. Thanks, mate. Love the question. Right, and the last questions. This comes from Torsten Boos from Jackie Chan Deutschland. How you doing, Torsten? Now, before I read these questions, a really big shout out to Jackie Chan Deutschland. I'm sure it's got a massive following, so I'm absolutely confident that anybody that's watching my videos definitely knows about Jackie Chan Deutschland and all of the hard work Thorsten puts into Jackie Chan content over the years. He's relentless and meticulous and thorough with all that he puts out, and I just want to say a really big thank you, mate. on behalf of, you know, the Jackie Chan fan community. We do appreciate the work you do, mate, because what I will say about Jackie Chan Deutschland is in Jackie Chan Deutschland, you can trust, right? I say a lot of things, you should do your own due diligence on things, but when it comes to Jackie Chan Deutschland, you know what you're reading is spot on. Yeah, it's accurate, it's concise, it's factual, and it's honest. And I just love your content, mate. Please keep it up. You do an absolute sterling job, my friend. Thank you very much. And for your questions, now Torsten actually gave me 5 questions, but I've just selected 2 from the list, mate. I might come back to the others another day, but thank you very much. So one of the questions that was put to me by Jackie Chan Deutschland was, what would you like to say to Jackie when you meet him? And how, when, where do you want to meet him in person? Now, what I like about this question most is the optimism and the positivity. You notice what he said there was, what would you like to say to Jackie when you meet him? He didn't say, what would you like to say to Jackie if you meet him? He said, when. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. You're channeling that positive energy. It's going to happen, apparently. To date, the stars haven't aligned, unfortunately. The planets and the stars, they're just not lining up. This dates right back to when I was a kid. I've always wanted to meet Jackie. It just hasn't happened for all the will in the world. What would I say to him? To be honest, mate, I have this thought a lot when opportunities have come, and I've tried to put myself in them positions. But I worry that, probably like all of you, I'd get to meet him and I'd just freeze and I wouldn't know what to say. And I still don't know the answer to this question, mate. Part of me feels there should be some big, you know, how much you've changed my life and how much, you know, been inspired and loved your work ever since I was really young to now. But I don't know if I could put that into words and articulate that. So I don't know, mate. When and where? Well, I'm not fussy. You know, I'll take it or leave it. Beggars can't be choosers. You tell me, Jackie, where can I meet you? And when, where, what? And I'm there. I'll try my best. Before my days are out, I do want to meet the man. And yeah, sorry, mate, I don't really know what I could say or what I would say to him if I did meet him. But leads on, well, the next question you got kind of leads on to it a little bit. But what I would say is, it's funny because when I did have the last opportunity to possibly meet Jackie was when he came to London recently for the Karate Kid Legends. I was outside the One show. Now, when I was that close to seeing Jackie in person, I'll be honest, the thoughts of autographs and anything else were not in my mind. I didn't really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love an autograph in person with Jackie, sign something, let me see him sign it. Because I've got a big Jackie Chan autograph collection, but of course I wasn't there and present for them. So the personal meaning to them is different. So I completely understand that. And of course that would be great to get a signature. But I think when you've just been such a big fan for so long, actually all I just wanted was to see him and him to see me. And if that meant a handshake, I'd take the handshake over a signature. You know, a lot of celebrities, they're all lined up, red carpet things, they're having to sign things and go at breakneck speed that often they don't even get a chance to look up to see who they're signing for and what, you know, they go along because they've got to get through it fast. And of course, I'd still appreciate that, but I think nothing beats a good old bit of eye contact. And just for him to look up to me, in terms of look at me and acknowledge me and shake my hand, that would be more to me than a signature. But moving on to your next question, your biggest regret as a Jackie Chan fan and also your biggest satisfaction as a Jackie Chan fan. Tough one. Biggest regret. Again, I don't really have regrets, but the only thing I'm cross about, well, actually I do have a regret. Yes, I do have a regret, and that's the Karate Kid Legends. I regret that I wasn't on a day off and that I couldn't have got to London Chinatown or Trafalgar Square, wherever it was, in appropriate amount of time to meet him or see him on the red carpet and, you know, do that jazz. So that is a regret. I'm upset about that. Yo, Jackie! Paul Dre loves you! I'm upset about when I was a child and Jackie was at Planet Hollywood and I had to go to school. My parents wouldn't let me have a day off because it would meant, you know, leaving to travel to London and commute, etc. We'd have to leave earlier on in the school day to get there in time. I had to write off about that. Oh, I'm still bitter. But yeah, that was disappointing. Not really any regrets, mate, I don't think. Nah. Biggest satisfaction? Bittersweet. Karate Kid Legends. Jackie Chan at Trafalgar Square. Missed that. Very tense day. Then managing to get down to the BBC One show in the evening. Then that, I say bittersweet because, you know, there's a lot, you know, Ultimate Fight Clan, Steve from Ultimate Fight Clan, he did a Podders with Rodney Dennis, and the three of us were there along with Tarek, and it was a disappointing evening from the perspective of, you know, everything that had unfolded that day. But it's bittersweet for me as well, and I voiced it on the day saying I'm still really satisfied. And I think even on reflection now, yeah, I didn't get to meet Jackie how I wanted to meet him, but this is somebody that I've been a massive fan of all my life. And if I tell you, when I arrived outside that BBC One show and I was 15 metres away from a glass window and I could see the back of Jackie's head in the interview suite with Ralph Macchio and Ben Wang, I can't describe what that felt like. Just seeing the person that I've been watching all my life, all of this gear, all the movies, everything from Drunken Master, he was literally right there. He was through a window, just through a glass door. I could see him. That was satisfying, yeah. That was, for me, I got what I needed. I didn't get what I need, obviously, because I wanted the handshake, I wanted the, you know, thing, but to see him. And then at the last part where he came to the thing and he put his nose to the window and he waved.
You alright, mate? Yeah. You okay?
Oh, where's Jackie?
There he is!
Jackie!
He did look and say hello.
There he is, I can see Jackie! 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 Oh, what a legend! I think as a fan that's never met him before, that was the closest I've got, and that was the most satisfying, I could say. Yeah, very surreal. It's still surreal even without properly meeting him. So yeah, thank you very much, mate. I really enjoyed that question. Yeah, decent stuff. Getting a bit emotional now. Cheers, mate. Did you notice my Rumble in the Bronx t-shirt? I've got it on. It's my double one that I got on Christmas Day. From old Yorkshire Pudding Collects. He picked it up for me at the Rise of the Dragon. I'm really happy now because I can keep the other one in its little tin packet, and I can now wear this bad boy with pride. I'm well happy with that. Cheers. Well, thanks very much, guys, for joining us. I just thought it'd be something a little bit different for 2026 to kickstart the year. Just sort of break our way in slowly. Really appreciate everybody that submitted some questions. And what I will say to anyone watching, if you've got a question for me, whether it's about the Jackie Chan collection, something about a Jackie Chan film, my opinion on stuff, anything like that, pop it in the old comments section of this video. I'll have a look at them, and yeah, if you like this sort of video, might do some more of these as well. So thank you very much. I'm going to get on with my day now. It's really, really cold. It's been snowing, so I'm going to go and face the elements. And I suppose I better put on some Jackie Chan clobber. That should do the job. Nice one, over and out.